Good morning, you find me with the wonderful Robin, and we're on our way to Westonzoyland. Why are we on our way to Westonzoyland? Good question. We're off to Westonzoyland because the pumping engine is in steam and we thought you'd like to see it. So, let's go. So here we are, we've made it to the pumping station. Robin's over there having a chat with somebody about engineering and stuff, and I found the engine shed. So here we are outside. I'm going to go and have a look and see what's in there. Let's go. Oh, this looks all very good. Lots of little Lister locos. It would have been a loco not dissimilar to this, maybe a bit bigger, that caused the crash with the locomotive on the Somerset and Dorset. Most of these are diesel, not too dissimilar from a car really, except they're mounted with a different gearbox and they're mounted onto a narrow gauge truck. But here, this one's actually a steam locomotive with a vertical boiler. In fact, look, there you go. There is a board there telling about the collision that took place on the 19th of August 1949. It was foggy that day, and at 8 AM a mixed train with both passengers and freight from Glastonbury to Bridgewater ran over at a crossing with the Peak Railway. They hit at 90 degrees to each other. The locomotive on the S&D line was a Class 3F, number 3260. It derailed and then bedded itself in the south drain. Sadly, they couldn't get it out and they actually had to cut it up in situ. So here we are at the pumping station. Let's go in.
So quiet. I'm getting lost with it. This one.
Bumped into Robin. Are you enjoying this, young man?
I am having a lovely time.
Isn't it wonderful?
I am lost in awe at a bunch of dedicated people trying to hold society together when there are so many greedy what's-its about simply writing algorithms for how to make more and more and more money. I think it's all fantastic. And you know, we were sitting in the cafe this morning and whoever it was saying, was there a beam engine? And I said, no. Well, I was lying.
There is a beam engine.
There is. There's a model.
Oh, there's a model of a beam engine just over there. There it is.
But the big pumping engine
yes.
is in a minute going to be running up the other end.
Yeah, because the big pumping engine is over there. The stuff we've been looking at so far in here is all small stuff, but beautiful stuff. In a minute we're going to go and see the main attraction, I guess, the reason data. That's a good word. Do you like that? Reason data. I didn't even know I knew that one. Right. So we're going to head on out there in a minute and see what's happening.
Actually, it's a ship's winch. This was built by John Lind and Company in Sunderland. But this was used at the St Ivel factory down in Hemyock, down in Devon, to move the milk tankers around on the sidings in the creamery. There was a bylaw said they couldn't take the locomotives into the creamery because of pollution. So they stopped the milk trains on the far side of the level crossing, ran out a steel cable and winched them across the road into the creamery. They had a series of capstans inside the creamery yard so they could change the direction of travel just by using the different capstans. So St Ivel closed that factory in the 70s. We got the winch, we built the inclined plane, we made a 1/3 size model of a tanker, and we just give it something to do in its old age.
When they used to take me on educational trips down the Avon in Bristol and past the static capster, not capster, what do you call the
Windlass.
No, it didn't wind. You just fling rope around it.
Yeah.
It's a capster.
Yeah.
It's just a capster. But along Hung Wharf, because Hung Wharf was when, before there was the floating harbour in Bristol, you had to come up on the tide.
Yes.
Well, if you weren't quick enough, you knew that you were going to fall over when the tide went out. So what they did was rope them to the capstans at Hung Wharf to keep them upright.
And they hung
So
literally.
that's where they hung there, and it was why it was called hung, because if they didn't, they fell in.
Wow.
Then when they got the floating harbour, it was only called the floating harbour because you could keep the water in, because the boats before that had to sit on the mud, so they all had to be twin hull, otherwise they kept falling over.
Or at least. what?
Somebody just told me
Yes.
that before the St Ivel,
Yes.
there was a bucket that
One of those tipper
used
trucks.
to
One of
tip
those
a
tipper
truck,
trucks, yeah.
and somebody forgot to stop it, and it fell off the
Yeah,
end.
it was me.
It was you.
You were that man. I was that man, yeah. I was distracted by a visitor.
Now don't be fooled into thinking this beast behind me is a traction engine. It isn't. Look at the wheels, they're not driven. It's actually a mobile, towable steam engine. So this would be towed on site and then used to generate the power that was required. This again is another, it's not a traction engine, it's a mobile steam engine which would again have been towed to the site where the power was needed, parked up and fired up, a bit like it is today. People often confuse these with traction engines because they think they look like one, but they're actually not. These were in use right up until the 40s and 50s on some places. I mean, the power these things can generate is enormous.
Well, the fire is down the other
Yeah,
end.
but the boiler's down the other end. We're at the front end. This
Okay.
is where the chimney vents up into the...
Yeah. So
Let's
all,
go and have a look at the other end, shall we?
yeah, because that's where all today's steam is
It's
being
coming
made,
from. So everything we're
and
seeing
then runs
powered
in pipes.
all comes from here. Let's
Yes.
go and look at the boiler.
Okay. Isn't that fantastic? When in the old days they talked about tractors running on paraffin, how did that work? Well, what is paraffin?
As far as I understand it, when you take oil and you deflect it into all the different components, as you go through you get different things, like you get like crude oil, you get like diesel oil, then you get petrol, and it's different levels of refining, I think. I don't know. Anybody in the description down below could tell Robin what paraffin is, because I haven't got a clue.
Oh, now are we going on this?
Yeah, before the rain
Good,
gets us.
lovely. Right now, don't forget to hold on tight.
So have you enjoyed today then, Robin?
I've had a lovely day. It's been really nice. And I've been coming here with family now, actually for 25 years. Every now and again, every time I come, I think I ought to come here and do something useful. So, all right, I have done some useful things elsewhere, but I have so much admiration.
Perhaps you could build them a new engine shed out of
for
Argos catalogues.
Well, Somebody earlier on today was telling me they built a very nice tin one that came as a kit of parts.
Oh, the engine shed.
At
for
the engine shed
yes.
up there. And he said it was absolutely brilliant. Okay, a lot of it came off CAD drawings and things, but it arrived as a set of parts and they put it together and it all went together.
worked.
It all went together beautifully.
Yeah.
Whereas when we did the village hall and we had to build that barn over the top of it, and then they brought it back. They brought it down to the village and put it up over the weekend while all the health and safety people were off having a weekend off.
So we've just bumped into these wonderful people here who are enjoying their day out. What did you think of it here?
Informative. It's really good. The best part for us was the actual living quarters.
Yeah.
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 You really feel like you're stepping back in time.
You do. You see, for me, it's the fact that this tiny little this tiny little brick building here
Okay.
has replaced all of that. This does what that used to do.
No.
That's incredible, isn't it?
Really?
Yeah, yeah. There's motors and pumps in there that it just replaces all these old things. Yeah. Well, thank you for saying hello, and we look forward to seeing you in the video.
Oh, I'll look out for me.
Well, I've had an absolutely brilliant day today. Robin, you've had a brilliant day.
I've had
haven't
a
you?
brilliant day.
Well, we're going to call it a day now because we're just going to go off and have a little wander around and have a look-see round. But thank you for joining us today. We will be doing more of these. We're talking about maybe the Great Britain would be a good one to go and visit, wouldn't it? In Bristol.
I think that Great Britain is a
Great
really
Britain.
interesting one.
Yeah, I'd like to
Let's
go.
do that.
Let's do the Great Britain. I've not been to the M Shed yet. Perhaps we could go and do that. Maybe the same day. Who knows?
Woof.
Woof.
Two excitements in one day.
Oh, I don't know about that. Anyway, more to come. More Robin to come. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you on the next one, wherever that is. Bye-bye.
Bye. Oh, what, me as well?
Yeah, you as well. You
Okay.
say bye-bye.
So it's goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye
and it's
from
good
him.
Goodbye from him.
That's it. We did it. We muggled through. Bye-bye.
Okay.